Hi everyone. So I just wanted to make a tutorial to help prepare for your quiz tomorrow. All of your questions on your multiple choice are going to be stimulus based. So just a reminder, stimulus based means you're going to get a passage or some sort of image, maybe even a map, and you're going to have to answer anywhere from 1 to 3 questions on this particular quiz pertaining to that primary or secondary source. So I just wanted to break down how you might want to go about reviewing and reflecting on these stimulus-based questions. And maybe I can give you some hints or ways to approach these questions. So here I have a passage that is from the Bhagavad Gita, which, as you guys know from your reading, is a ancient Hindu epic that has definitely altered and changed the kind of thought process of the Hindu religion. So even before I get to start to reading, as a student, I would notice what my source is. Bhagavad Gita. Okay, there it is. So I know immediately, even before I start reading, this is going to be from India, because I know where the Bhagavad Gita comes from. Maybe you might not know the source. Maybe you'll look at the source and you don't recognize the name, or maybe you don't recognize maybe what country it comes from. So if in those cases, you can just ignore it and then go start in reading. But you always want to check in with the source first. Okay, so let's go into the source. Our bodies are known to end. So you can always assume, just like in if you're reading any paragraph, whether you're writing one or you're reading it, you can always assume that maybe the topic of the entire paragraph or the topic of the reading is probably going to be in the first sentence. Because even though this is an ancient Hindu text, people haven't changed that much. We like to show the reader what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the paragraph, and we like to put that at the beginning. So we know right off the bat that this entire paragraph is going to talk about death, right? Our bodies are known to end, but the embodiment self is enduring, indestructible, and immeasurable. So this embodied self is kind of a mystical way of just saying like a soul. All right? It's the self. It's what's inside of my body. So in this very, very, very first topic sentence of this ancient Hindu text, they are talking about death. They are talking about a soul that is enduring, indestructible, and immeasurable. So your soul can endure anything, you cannot destroy the soul, and you cannot put any measurements on that soul. So this ancient Hindu text, they did a really killer thesis statement in the Bhagavad Gita, so good for them. But what are they talking about in this first topic? I know, based on my previous knowledge of world history, that they're probably talking about reincarnation. So now that I have that down, and I know that this entire piece is probably going to be about reincarnation, I can read this a lot quicker. Here we go. Therefore, Arjuna, fight the battle. He who thinks this self a killer and he who thinks it killed both fail to understand. It does not kill, nor it is killed. It being the soul. It is not born, it does not die. Having been, it will never not be. Unborn, enduring, constant, and primordial. It is not killed when the body is killed. It, again, being the soul. So, again, it's just reinforcing a reincarnation. If it's born, it's not necessarily born, it doesn't necessarily die. It just continues to go from body to body, from life to life. That's just reincarnation. Arjuna, when a man knows the self to be indestructible, enduring, unborn, unchanging, how does he kill or cause anyone to kill? Death is certain for anyone born, and birth is certain for the dead. Another reflection of reincarnation. Since the cycle is inevitable, you have no cause to grieve. Now, let's say that up to this point, you guys have no idea what's going on. You've read all of this. You're like, I don't know what this word is. I don't know what that word is. I don't know anything that's happening. there's too many semicolons and commas. Let's say you get here and it says since the cycle. The key word here is cycle. You know that reincarnation is a cycle. It is a cycle of birth and death. You know that from your reading. So if you see this word cycle, or you see a word that you think is familiar or triggers something in your brain that we've talked about before or you've read before, think about it. What is the one thing that has a cycle, or what is the one thing that has ... You should be able, find the word that you recognize, and you should be able to match something that you already know to the words that you know in the text. All right, let's keep going. Since the cycle is inevitable, you have no cause to grieve. Be intent on action, not on the fruits of action. Avoid attraction to the fruits and attachment to inaction. Perform actions firm in discipline, relinquishing attachment. Be impartial to failure and success. The equanimity is called discipline. So this entire statement right here is saying, don't be sad. Do not grieve if you die or you did not have a fulfilling life, because you'll be okay. Just continue performing your actions, and in this case, the actions of your caste, and do it with firm discipline in order to be both a failure and successful, because it doesn't matter. You will find your path, and you will find your soul to continue life after death. So we know, before we even get started, this is a religious text. It's Hindu, and it's from India. Okay? There's our who, what, when, where, why, how, right? Ooh, I put it on the wrong side of the T, but you get the idea. Okay, so now that we have all this information, I can go and now answer this first question. What is the main message of the passage? Is it A, one must, before actually, I don't even want to start reading the actual answers. So before we even read the answers, which words stick out to you the most? So for me, even by just looking at these four statements, I'm going to say cycle because I see it there, right? I'm also going to say maybe dies because they do talk a lot about like death and grieving. And I might circle body because body, they definitely talk about how like the body and the soul may or may not be reincarnated. So those three things stick out to me. So if those three things stick out to me, I might cross this out, but I'm going to still read and come back to it. But I have it in the back of my head that that's probably not the answer. Okay, A, one must do one's duty without emotion because the cycle of reincarnation affects all. Whoa, I didn't even look at the reincarnation. I was just connecting cycle to cycle. So if I know that the cycle of life is called reincarnation, then here I feel like my initial response or my initial reaction is now reinforced by this word. Okay, so I'm going to put a check next to this guy because maybe he's the answer. I'm going to come back to him. B, a warrior should be both brave and pious. My initial reaction was probably good. Is there anything in here about warriors? Not necessarily. So I'm going to cross that out. C, everyone dies, so it grieving at funerals is considered sacrilegious. First off, there's like a grammatical error. And then also it says that there's nothing in here that says that you can't grieve. It just says there's no reason to grieve. You should just be happy with the life that you're given. So sacrilegious is too strong of a word, so I'm going to cross that one off as well. It's a little too dramatic, letter C. Okay, letter D. The body is the most important thing in all of creation and must be persevered above all else. Now, the most important? Wait a second. I thought the soul was the most important because it's the most enduring, indestructible, and immeasurable. So if the soul's the most important, how could the body be the most important as well? So I'm going to cross that out because the body doesn't move from life to life, only the soul does. And if we're talking about cycles and this entire passage is talking about reincarnation, then it has nothing to do with the body. The body is insignificant. So the answer is A. Okay. So I just wanted to share this with you guys and hopefully it helps you out. If If you have any other questions about how to study for your quiz, go ahead and shoot me an email. Again, I just want to remind you that you should definitely check out the Quizlet. You should definitely check out the study guides that I posted, and definitely take a look at the definition of legalism, because that will help you for tomorrow on your DBQ style writing portion of the quiz. All right, good luck tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.